Welcome to Growth Sparks, the podcast for health and wellness entrepreneurs and practitioners. Here we dive into founder stories, strategies, and innovations that drive this dynamic industry. I'm your host, Riza Javellana, and today I'm very happy to have with me Ashley Johnston of Knoxville Movement Collective. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Tell me about this movement that you're creating.
Yeah, so KMC is something we created in June, and I kind of caught this outdoor bug, as we could call it, and I just wanted to be outside as much as possible. And I wanted to get in the sunshine and move and get active and work on building my fitness. But part of that being a young woman is I don't want to do it by myself necessarily in a city like Knoxville. Sometimes it feels safe and sometimes it doesn't. So looking for friends to be able to do those kind of activities with, I had a hard time finding that community. And so KMC was born out of creating that community, since I figured if I was looking for it, others were as well. So we deliver free outdoor events. We have a run club that meets 3 times a week, and we pepper in bike rides. We do road cycling, mountain biking. We've done pickleball. We've got rec sports. We do trail running. We do plenty of hikes, anything under the sun, really, that you can imagine.
Do you do this by yourself, or do you have a whole team dedicated to working all these activities with you?
The idea and getting it off the ground was something that I bounced the idea off of friends in the beginning and really formulated the foundation of what we wanted this to look like myself. And then one of my close friends, Maria Zolkowski, is Chief Experience Officer, and she oversees our team of volunteer coaches and captains. Initially, Maria is a much better runner than I am. So this was based off of our run club. So I went to her and I was like, listen, I will do everything else, but I actually need somebody who can run well to actually lead the run club. And so that's and Maria and I had worked together in the past, and she's truly one of my best friends. So it was great to be able to start this with her. Outside of Maria, once we became a nonprofit, we took on 2 other of our close friends, Eric Ruckert and Nate Chappell, and they serve as our board of directors. And then we also manage the day-to-day operations. We've been very lucky to have volunteer leaders who from the start just felt like this was something they wanted to get behind and pour their time into. So I have a very excellent team of head coaches and then captains that assist them in hosting events in their respective areas.
I love how it started with your idea. You took action, and now you truly have a structure around it, and it has become a nonprofit business with like-minded people. Community is so needed these days, and I am sure you're fulfilling a need for a lot of people. How big is the group now? How many members do you have?
So it's interesting because you can fill out a free member form on our website, and that's usually where we drive people to do, because that's where you're going to get the most out of it. Because we've got like partner discounts in the area. That's where you see our full event schedule. We've got a community group chat that people will just find friends in and discuss. And that's really like the community piece to me. But we also have people who just drop into our events. So it's likely larger, but we have about 375 people who have registered to be members since June 1st.
Huge. That's less than 6 months.
It's been very exciting.
Really just tells you how much of a need this is and how much people are enjoying your activities. So how do you get the word out aside from those who are registering? And I guess you have member communications. Is it mainly word of mouth?
So for our schedule, we post a weekly schedule every Monday. We post a weekly schedule, and then I tend to post like an infographic relating to each event that we have that week. And we have a Google Calendar that everybody can see on our members page. We have that GroupMe that I'll send messages out to. In terms of marketing to new members, really, we've been so fortunate that so much of our marketing has actually been done by our members through word of mouth, which is such a privilege because it's a lot of work to put in that marketing. And we pour a lot of time into our social media. And I have personally spent hours and hours on our website and making sure everything looks as polished and as branded as possible. That's something I would have looked for when I was looking for a club or a community to get involved with. I would look for if something looked polished and put together and, for lack of a better word, a legit brand. And so I spent a lot of time in the beginning making sure our website looked like something that if I were surfing the internet, is this something I would feel is trustworthy? And is this something I would feel comfortable going to for the first time? And did I see faces of the people who were going to be there? And was it not just all stock images? Do we have real examples of these events actually taking place? And so I spent a lot of time working on that. So I would say between the word of mouth, the website, and really our mains. We do a little bit on TikTok, but our main social media is Instagram, and we have a
Mm.
Facebook page as well. That's really where it happens.
So people must be drawn to this because of your mission. What is the core mission of KMC?
Yeah, it's got multiple different names. KMC is definitely our street name. It's a little bit easier. But our core mission is really just delivering free outdoor events with the intention of creating a more active community, a more healthy and confident Knoxville. I personally, one of my favorite cities to travel to is Austin, Texas.
Mhm.
I have been there a few different times. And the real takeaway I had when I was in Austin is they're so active here. Everybody is running or biking, or there's so many different ways to get outside. Paddleboarding is one of the main things that you would do on Lady Bird Lake if you were to go to Austin. And I found the energy in that city so intoxicating. I love it. It's one of my favorite places to be. It's a little too hot for me to actually live there. It is very hot. So I was thinking about it and I was like, man, we have a river here and we have greenways here and we have this sort of infrastructure here. What's missing? And I think we just needed an entity like
Mm.
KMC to say, here's a schedule, here's what we're doing. If you want to be a part of this, it's free and just bring yourself, bring your friends, and let's all just get outside and move together. And really, you would find like minded people that way. We've had a lot of people, I get texts almost every day of people who are hanging out with people they've met through KMC just on their own. And that's always, those are the moments that make me feel the most fulfilled. But
Yeah.
it's definitely, I think we just needed that entity to be the glue to form it because it's really the members themselves are the ones who have made this something. Without them, it wouldn't be anything. I didn't think this was going to take off the way it did when we started this. This actually never started with the intention of becoming a business. I mean, you have
Mm.
like your wildest dreams, but I didn't think the response would be as positive and as overwhelming as it has been. So, just so much gratitude for that.
That's beautiful. What has been your proudest moment so far?
Oh, wow, that's hard. I would say recently we partnered with New to Knox, which is new and then the number two Knox, and
Mhm.
a really cool organization. I'm personally from Atlanta, so I'm not born and raised in Knoxville. However, this has become my home. I take pride in this place. I love Knoxville. I've been here since 2019. But New to
Mhm.
Knox hosts a lot of they just show what's happening in the city.
Okay.
So before Newtonox really, at least to me, before I became aware of what it was and it reached me, because it's been going on longer than that, I didn't really know what there was to do around Knoxville. But they post all of these fun things that are happening and they make this look like the best place on earth to be. And we were fortunate enough to partner with them to host a hike that was pretty large. It was a pretty large scale event. And that was a we made it moment to me of, wow, here's this organization that I've personally looked up to for so long. And here we are partnering and we're hosting this event. And now we're all getting to accomplish what we're mission is drawn towards together. And so it was really exciting for us. We did that last month. Our head coach of trails and hiking, Janie, led a group of about 30 people up to House Mountain and back. And then we partner with local businesses all the time. So we all went back to a local business and supported them. And it was great. And it was a lot of new members because new to Knox is a lot of people who have recently moved to Knoxville, or maybe you're wanting to,
Mhm.
maybe you decided you're going to stay and now you want to find some community there. So we certainly had some KMC members who wanted to come out and support, but it was great to see a group of all new people who we got to share our mission with.
Beautiful. It all sounds fun and easy, and you obviously have a great team around you, but I'm sure it also has its share of challenges. Tell me about the hard work that goes into what you do. What have been the big challenges so far?
I would say it's definitely been the number one thing is, of course, with this being a nonprofit, which we actually initially launched. I just wanted to lock down like our name and make sure that we were registered as a business. We weren't exactly honed in on what this was going to be in the beginning. We were like,
Mm.
oh, wow, there's a lot of people here. People are really interested in this. What are we going to do? And when I say we, at this point, it was myself and then Maria was leading the run club, but we had a lot of back and forth conversation. I mean, Maria plays a pivotal role in what KMC has become. So
Mm.
we were just going back and forth. We just launched it as an LLC just to do it. And then I ended up finding out through a lot of like more research, oh, we actually aren't an LLC. Everything we're doing just makes us a nonprofit. So we went back when we refiled as a nonprofit. And then there's 501c3 status that you try to get after that, which we were very fortunate to get on our first application. It can be very challenging to get that declaration from the IRS. And that's essentially that our proceeds are going to what they say they're going to, and it makes our donations tax deductible. So all of that kind of business research, I have a degree from the Haslam College of Business at the University of Tennessee. And they do a great job of educating you on a lot of aspects of what running a business would look like or different things to think about. And so I really credit my time at UT for knowing what I would need to be keeping an eye on and trying to think of everything and wear a lot of different hats. It's been a lot of time for me, and I feel like I'm always on. Like, I'm getting texts. Is there an event happening? Am I at the event? Because I try to be at the event. There's emails. I'll go on I love our website. It's my baby. So I'll go on our website and I'm like, I don't like this page as much. And then I'm redoing it. It's just about making it something that not only I can be proud of, but our members can be proud of, our sponsors can be proud of, and all of my coaches and captains who pour their time into this, I need it something they can be proud of. The work is never done. I would say
Yeah.
the biggest thing that we run into right now, we've been so fortunate. I was blown away by the support we received from our community on Giving Tuesday. But really, it's been cultivating sponsorships and fundraising and trying to figure out what that looks like. Because at the core of everything we do, I'm very protective over the fact that our events are free. But to deliver certain experiences that we have the privilege of delivering, being this larger organization, I can get discounts on certain experiences and I can get us different things that our members would benefit, and trying to navigate how we can not take away that opportunity, but also stay
Yeah.
true to our mission as free events. That's currently what I've been navigating. So we're working on figuring that out.
Yeah, that's certainly a thin line to tread on for sure. This has grown bigger than what you thought it was going to do so quickly. What are the priorities in the next 6 months?
I would say for the next 6 months, I'm really trying to make sure that so KMC, in the last 3 months, we had KMC running, and that was our run club. And then we had
Mhm.
KMC kind of was the umbrella that everything else is under. And we actually went through, Maria and Eric and Nate and I talked about it, and we decided it might make the most sense to restructure everything because it was very heavy on the run club, and then everything else sort of felt secondary. And I would love for everything to have the same momentum and loyalty and excitement that the run club has. And part of that, running has had quite a boom. And so that might have the most traffic, but how do we keep the adrenaline with that and bring it to these other areas? So we divided it into, we have KMC Trails and Hiking, which is where our trail runs and hikes and walks live. We have KMC Biking, which is our cycling, mountain biking, and then we have recreational rides as well. And then we have KMC Active, which has a fitness coach. We've got your classic workout events. Maybe we do indoor rock climbing, pickleball. We have a community trainer. Her name is Gabby, and she does mobility clinics, so injury prevention. Funny enough, we are all so excited to be outside all the time. I think we suffer from a lot of overuse injuries in the best way. I feel like I've never been so fortunate to have so many overuse injuries because there's so much fun to have. We're very grateful for Gabby to help us through that. But having those different buckets to place these events in has really let us become specialized in those areas. And we're still working on that. So my goal with all of those teams is, okay, how do we make this the best it can possibly be? Because I'm lucky to have all of the leaders in those areas are very passionate about that. Like Janie, Alexander, and Rock are in trails and hiking, and they love it. And so
Mhm.
I have the bird's eye view, but they're very specialized in their area of, well, let's go to this trail. And it's something I've never heard of or would never know. That's why we had to recruit
Mhm.
help for this, because recently I've gotten into mountain biking, and our mountain biking captain, Cameron, and then we have our head coach of biking, Greg. They have mountain biked for quite some time. And so
Mhm.
they will come up with different things that we can do that I'm like, guys, I would have never thought to do this. So it's been great to leverage their help and make sure that we can make all of these areas as good as they can be. I would say continuing the specialization of those areas is the biggest thing I'm thinking of in 2026.
Mm.
And then in all reality, the events are free, but it's not like there aren't behind the scene costs. So trying
Yes.
to navigate sponsorship structure, and we had a sponsorship structure, but then we really took off in attendance. So we revisited that. And then we have different partners that have different needs from us. And we want to make sure that we're delivering back to these local businesses as much as they're delivering to us. So I think just really hammering down what that sponsorship structure looks like and specializing our events, those are my biggest things going into the new year.
I'm very impressed with already the huge progress you've gotten into the structure, the team, the models of how you're specializing. And clearly, the passion that everybody has working behind the scenes is fueling the explosion of what you were doing. What is the long term vision? Will this go beyond Knoxville? Do you see yourself helping set up movements in the other communities around Tennessee and beyond?
Yeah, I would say we're already talking about how we could work on expanding to Nashville because we have a lot of
Mhm.
people who come travel and they will stop by because luckily enough, through a lot of work and research on SEO, if you Google Knoxville Run Club or like some Knoxville Get Outside, we're one of the top search hits. So we get a lot of people who don't live in Knoxville and just found us one way or another. And a lot of those people have actually been from Nashville. And I've heard a lot of feedback of, oh, Nashville could use this. You know, Nashville has
Yeah.
a lot of run clubs, but us being multi-sport, it's a little
Mhm.
different and we're always free. And so I think Nashville will be the next destination. I'm from Atlanta
Mhm.
originally, so I think that would make sense for me to leverage some connections there and make sure that we were able to have the same I would need to make sure that we have the same impact in every area. I would hate to scale too quickly and then we would lose the key mission of what this is meant to be. But I personally, my dream would be to travel somewhere for 6 months, set this up, let it
Mm.
run, on to the next one. Because I think this is something that every city should have, big or small. I would love to even find a way to put this in the power of a community to say, hey, I think I want this. I feel passionately about this and I can start this, even if I myself can't get out there. Because just
Yeah.
because you live in a small town and it's not LA, you know, that was the challenge. Knoxville's on the up right now, but it wasn't always. And so when I
Mhm.
was looking for this, it was much easier to find what I was looking for in a Chicago, in a New York, in an
Mm.
LA, but it's harder when you're in a small town. And so I would love to
Yeah.
find a way to make sure that this was accessible to everybody.
It sounds like you have the makings of a blueprint of how this could be portable to other
We definitely thought about
communities.
it. Got
Yeah,
to come up with
yeah,
what we would do with the name.
that's very exciting. And again, I think the need for community and activities within the community that people are really interested in that they can do physically and help bring people together is just so needed right now. When you think about your impact beyond fitness, because it started as you want to be outside and connect in a safe way within the neighborhood, what do you think are the bigger impact of what you're doing?
Yeah, I would say really just inspiring that confidence of
Mhm.
look at what we're all doing together. We're all
Mm.
here because we all want to find community. We all want to do something that is positive. And I think just inspiring that and knowing you don't have to do this here. Nobody has to come do this here. You can go create these spaces. If you feel a space is needed, go create it. And I have a lot of conversations. People will come up to me and they're like, we should do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, you should do it. If there's something I can help with, we'll post it. We'll be the host for it. But I think that really, I love to make sure everybody knows that this is not we didn't scratch off the winning lottery numbers. I think if you are looking for something and you want something, other people do too. And so I really make sure that everybody knows you can go make whatever you want out of anything. I would
Mm.
say too, something that's very important to me. I was in a sorority at the University of Tennessee and we do a lot of philanthropy. And so
Mhm.
philanthropy was very important with this. And when we initially launched as a LLC and I wasn't entirely sure of where this compass was going to take us, I feel very strongly about making sure Knoxville is as beautiful and as clean and as litter free and the greenways are nice and I love everything that falls under that kind of parks and recreation conservation umbrella. And
Mhm.
Keep Knoxville Beautiful is the premier charity for that here in Knoxville. They work
Mm.
so hard. And so I was fortunate enough to meet with Miss Maggie, and she is the director of development for KKB. And we have established them as a charity partner. And here, before the end of the year, we're actually going to be making a donation that is 20% of our revenues that we received this year. And truthfully, being a new nonprofit, it wasn't that much. And so I think we're going to probably just do a donation on top of that to just make sure we're impacting them as our charity partner. We do a lot of events with them because it's also important to me that I found it difficult in college to know where to go volunteer, and you're the only one, and maybe you don't want to go by yourself, or maybe you didn't know that this was a opportunity. So we host a lot of cleanups. We just
Mm.
hosted a trash run in Bearden, which is about 10 minutes outside of downtown Knoxville, to clean up Third Creek Greenway. And we were fortunate enough to partner with Movement, which is a local studio here. And it was great. It's great to always see our members come together and do something wonderful. We did a Monday night run, which is one of our run club meets, right before Thanksgiving. And we partnered with Second Harvest Food Bank to make it a food drive run. And we called it Miles for Meals. The
Mhm.
turnout was insane. It was just under 400 pounds of food that we have delivered. And I actually still have cans and stuff that people have given me after the fact that I still have to bring to them. So maybe we passed 400 pounds. All of our members know I send out all sorts of opportunities all the time to get out and do good. And it's so important to me that they do that. And it's important to them too, because they go show up and do it. And it's amazing. So I think really working on how we can continue to have those partnerships and make sure that we can't just have this. I personally can't imagine we just have this group of people and don't do something positive with it. So making sure that stays something we're focusing on in the new year is really important to me.
It's a lot of positive. You're talking about empowerment, letting people know that they are very capable and they should do a movement if that's their passion. You talk about doing good and philanthropy, and you're certainly doing that and encouraging people and bringing community together to do that. The partnerships you forge within the local community is obviously growing and will continue to build. And I'm sure soon enough you will be at the forefront of one of those groups that truly are making a difference in Knoxville. I'm sure your members truly appreciate that. Any last words for our audience?
I would just say if you are in Knoxville, come hang out with us. We are at Knoxville Movement on Instagram. We post our schedule every week, and I would love to see you out there. And also, I know I just touched on this a little bit, but get outside today. Get outside. I know it's cold, and I find I'm 10 times as active when it's warm outside. I am like a little lizard and I want to be under my heat lamp, but still getting outside and even just bundling up and getting your hot drink and going for a walk can be so healing. And I would just say if you can find it in the day, however small, to get outside, I would do it. And you know what? It's even better to be outside with friends. So grab a friend and take them with you.
Amazing. Thank you for the inspiration today. You are making an impact. You are building community. You are making a difference. It's been a pleasure getting to know you.
Thank you so much. This was such a treat. I'm so glad.